Jackie Robinson was not the best Negro League player available when Major League Baseball opened its doors to him in 1947. He was just the best one available to do a job a certain way to stay in the majors long term. He had to endure the kind of everyday struggles that came with being the first black to play in baseball's segregated league. And I'm sure there were many days that Jackie wanted to throw his glove down, walk off the field, and just give up. The rest of Robinson's story is history, very good history. But again, Robinson was not the best Negro League player when he broke baseball's color barrier. Josh Gibson was. He was the Negro League's version of Babe Ruth. Only difference was he had to wait till very late in his playing career to finally play on a Major League team. Which brings me to what my final say is really about, which is Major League Baseball finally deciding to recognize his stats by putting them in their own books. It's resulted in Gibson passing a number of Hall of Famers on the records list. For example, his career batting average of .372 moves him to the top of the all-time list ahead of Ty Cobb, Rogers Hornsby, and Ted Williams. No doubt, three true greats of the game, which is what Gibson is. And for those that argue that Gibson got his numbers against inferior competition, I would ask one simple question with some follow-ups. How do you know how inferior the competition was? Were you at those games nearly 80 years ago? Simply saying they weren't playing equal competition doesn't make it true. Remember, none of the Negro League players were allowed in the majors until after Jackie Robinson was there, and it wasn't because they weren't good enough. Oh, and on that list that Gibson sits on top of, he also passed the late, great Buck Leonard. And Leonard also spent the majority of his playing career in the Negro Leagues.